Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us for tonight's edition of HR Mentorship Learning Series. My name is Oluyemi Adeosun, and I'm excited to have yet again to speak to us Dr. Morakinyo Kunle Oloyede, who is a fellow Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria, and is going to be speaking to us on the topic business and human resource strategy. I would still like to read his profile just for the benefit of some of us. Dr. Oloyede holds the National Certificate in Education, NCE, in Political Science and Economics from the Ogun State College of Education, Ijebu-Ode. He has a first degree in guidance and counseling. He also has a master's in personnel psychology and a PhD in applied psychology, all from the Ogun State, formerly Olabisi, now Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoewe. His work experience started at the Fakor International Secondary School, Lagos, as a tutor and guidance counselor, while his corporate working experience in the human resource function commenced at the Gateway Hotel, Lota, where he was the human resource manager. He crossed to Gateway Bank PLC, where he rose to become the head human resources. He subsequently moved to Intercontinental Bank as a result of the banking consolidation and served as regional HR manager, Southwest, head manpower planning, resourcing and talent management, training manager, head learning development, respectively. Dr. Oloyede joined First Bank of Nigeria PLC initially as HR business partner and rose to become the senior HR business consultant and supported at various times strategic business groups like public sector, corporate, institutional, commercial, and private banking. He has also held other positions, including head strategic recruitment, head human capital management and development, special projects, and business manager, corporate banking. Dr. Oloyede was a general manager and the head group resources at Odua Investment Company Limited, a business conglomerate with many subsidiaries and associate companies. He thereafter became HR director at Globalcom Limited. He lectures guidance and counseling, personnel psychology, employment relations, and human resource management at the Lead City University, Ibadan, and also is an adjunct lecturer with the University of Ibadan. Dr. Oloyede has attended numerous courses and conferences locally and internationally in human resource management, leadership, and so on and so forth. He is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. He was former chairman of Oyo State Branch and a member of the governing council of the institute. He's also a member of the Society for Human Resource Management, SHRM, a full member, Nigerian Institute of Training and Development, MNITD, is a member of the Positive Psychology Association of Nigeria, and associate member, Nigerian Institute of Management. In addition to all of this, Dr. Oloyede Morakinyo is an accredited conflict mediator, Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, and has served as a member of the Committee on Mediation and Conflict Resolution of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria. Is a career coach, counselor, a mentor to a number of human resources and other professionals. He has held consultancy engagements in HR value chain, leadership management for many organizations, and has served as a lead facilitator in workshops, seminars, retreats for corporate organizations, and also in the public sector. He is a non-executive director on the board of Lagos Airport Hotel Limited and also sits on the board of Pinnacle of Leadership and Entrepreneurial Academy Nigeria Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, please let your emojis, emoticons show how well we are grateful, thankful to have to, speak to us tonight on the topic business and HR strategy. Someone who has seen that, done that, qualified, competent, experienced. Let's celebrate Dr. Morakinyo Kunle Oloyede. You have the floor, sir, and you have the floor, sir. Thank you so much for availing us of your wisdom and insights tonight.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm glad to be here. And I'd like to appreciate Yemi for doing a good job. You guys, I think emojis you also go out there for Dr. Adeosun. You will agree with me that he has filled a particular space that without has not been filled to create platform for young professionals and also bring in old hosts like us to be able to interact with you in this noble profession that we have found ourselves, because I can imagine the type of help this type of platform has created for all of us, especially the young ones coming behind us, to have a platform that prepare them, that support them, and enhances their performance in their respective organizations. So, Yemi, you are doing well, and I'm happy to associate with you. Thank you so much. Business and HR strategy. You will wonder why. But the fact of the matter is that HR has no business in any organization if it's not interested in the business of that organization. That's the truth. What are you going to do there if you are not going to support the business? And of course, the business strategy. So there's supposed to be a twine of a strategy lashing into the business strategy. So briefly, we look at the business and HR strategy, try to define it. What are the steps involved in developing HR strategy? What are the principles? Each strategic roles, I'll just mention them, maybe just the part, but why HR in business and what business in HR? That is our concluding part, and that exactly should be the attraction. So when we try to define strategy, strategy is not limited to HR. Strategy, even in family, even in your life, you want to think of what to do. And it is the direction and scope of an organization over a long term, which ideally matches the resources to the changing environment. I want to note keyword, changing environment. Matches resources, resources is one, changing environment, and in particular to its market, customers, and client, all at ensuring that they meet what the stakeholders' expectations. Why I was saying we should mark them was that one, you are planning for a long time. You say short-term plan, middle term, and long term over a long period of time. Is it 3 years, is it 5 years, is it 10 or 7 or 10 years? Strategy for development, for this, for that. And you cannot plan without looking at the resources. And you cannot plan without imagining what will happen tomorrow in terms of changing environment. And you cannot plan without being mindful of what the market will say, because you are not doing business for yourself. There's market, the off-takers of your business or the customers, as well as to meet the expectations of the stakeholders. That is strategy defined. Business strategies, therefore, which another area I want to define, is about long-term issues of survival. We also mark that. Long-term issues of survival and continual growth facing the organization. Because the business world is a battleground, war zone, survival of the fittest. So you must have business strategy that guarantees your survival and continual growth. So in the context of the external environment that every organization operates, the question is, how do we gain and maintain competitive advantage to enable you to accomplish all those mission and vision that you have stated? If there's no strategy, as people say, the way you lay your bed, so you lie on it. Another popular saying that you cannot continue to do the same thing the same way and expect a better result. So you've got to ensure that there's a strategy that is unique to you, that is sustainable, that guarantees continuous growth, that also guarantees some kind of survival for your organization. So the question, how do we attain and sustain this competitive stakeholder satisfaction? There's no business you are doing that others are not doing it, or not even doing better. So let's now go to HR strategy. So I've been trying to talk about business strategy. I also talk about, we started with strategy itself, business strategy, and now HR strategy. If we are saying that we are people managers and that people make organizations, and organization has a goal, the vision to achieve its objectives, to make profit, to do this or that, because it could pay, it's not an organization that make profit, but at least let's say we'll look that as an example. You as HR manager or HR operating the HR space, you also have to define the strategy to put in place to be able to provide special support to ensure that where you are working achieve its own defined objective. So HR strategy is that roadmap that you have put together to solve organizational biggest challenges with people-centric solutions. All the other resources are available. What about people? We said the strategy also here focus on development of integrated plans that will enable the business to achieve its long-term goal. That is not just one idea, integrated, both HR, both business, both all the parts of that organization. There must be an integration of their plan, and together with integration of the HR strategy, all working towards achieving the business strategy. And that's what we said in the next sentence, that the sole objective of HR strategy is about how to actualize the business strategy. If your strategy is not speaking to the corporate strategy, then you have missed it. It has to be speaking to achievement of the business strategy. So HR strategy, therefore, aim at maximize the potential of all employees in an organization with a view to achieve the broader organizational objectives. Whatever we are doing in our different space, table, corner, that is not looking up to the corporate strategy and working towards achieving the corporate objectives, we are just playing. So HR strategy, therefore, is meant to align the goals of HR department as well with the goals of the business. They must dovetail, they must sync together in order to formulate a plan and concrete set of measures to reach the goal. So if HR strategy is looking at right and business strategy is looking at left, then we are not together. There's no harmonization. Then achievement of the organizational goals is an objective will be in jeopardy. So the internal goals set out in an HR strategy should seek to support the overall business goal. Whatever we do in HR, whatever we craft together, call it anything, plan, 2-year plan, 3-year plan, whatever, that is not seeking to support the overall business goal. It's just efforts in a futility. The question we ask ourselves is, how do we align human resource strategy to organizational goal? The critical question. The first one here is, what kinds of people do you need to manage and run organization to meet your strategic business objective? That must be on the front burner. And when you're talking about people, you're also talking about time. The one you need immediate time, in the short run, and the long run. Even as the organization is growing, you must be ahead of the business. That by the time they look out to say, we want people, either you are building your people from within or you are getting them from outside, your strategy must be so well stated that anytime the organization attains a particular milestone, be able to take it to the next level of achievement must be readily available. So the second question now is, what people program or initiative must be designed to implement and implemented to attract, to develop, and to retain staff to compete effectively? Because it's not enough for you to have people. What do you want to do to retain them? In fact, it's not enough for you to have strategy. If your environment is not attractive, you are not a choice employer, people won't come. It's not even enough for you to attract them. After you have brought them in, what are you doing to develop them to be able to contribute positively and immensely to the organization? That is where the issue of talent management, talent identification, talent nurturing comes in, learning and development comes in, career, bespoke career path, career development framework comes in, so that if somebody joins the organization today and look at your structure, it can predict that in 5 years, this is where I'm going to be. In 10 years, this is where I'm going to be. That is strategy. And that makes the person to say, where am I going? I can see that I will get there. And because the structures are so clear to them, it's part of the strategy of HR. So the other question, how do we make the most of the people resource to gain as competitive advantage? That has to do with the development of your people. What do you put in place that these people you have, how do you ensure the gain and sustain competitive advantage? If company A is doing well, company B is doing well, Go and have them inside. Both of them, they don't want us to do well. They want to be the best in doing well. And it's not going to be by the structure, whether it's going to skyscraper or 10 floors or whatever. It's a question of people taking the organization to the very top and sustain the top. So how do we make the most of people? The internal issues, your strategy about staff retention, a strategy about ensuring staff are satisfied. What are you talking about? How engage people to ensure people are well engaged in terms of things that are beyond salary, engage in terms of being interested in their personal issues, family, children, career. It's not about paying well. We see people who leave organizations that pay well because apart from paying well, they did not pay attention to other things, including mental health. So another question you try to answer is, how do we differentiate our organization from competition by leveraging on our people resource? And the question is, the people you have here, they have an organization. What do you do? What strategy do you put in place to differentiate? What is the differentiating factor in your organization that makes you unique? Imagine we have banks, maybe about 30 or 40 of them. What makes a particular bank unique? Why is this a place every person want to be? Why is people there not living? Why are they not resigning? Why do they stay put there 20 years, 30 years, 15 years, they're not living? Or any organization, even in the manufacturing industry. So when we move on from there, you want to now look at what are those steps in developing HR strategy? Have me answer those questions. One, as HR people, we must understand the big picture. Get the picture, understand your organization goals. Gone are those days when we sit at the back and we are waiting for them to say, hey, we need 10 people or whatever. No, you are sitting at the table. But when they invite you to the table and all you do is to eat their snacks and make up and order and go, 2-day strategy, strategic, we say, what do you call it, corporate strategy or management strategy, and HR is represented by the corporate head or whatever name. And there's nothing strategic in what you contribute. You are waiting for other people to present. They won't call you next time. At a point in time, they are saying that somebody else who's only an HR professional can do your job because you have not distinguished yourself by ensuring you understand the big picture, understand your goal, the organizational goal, and you are already factoring HR strategy that speak to the goals, and you are telling them, sir, HR will want to submit that if you don't do this, this will not happen. If you do this, it will not happen. And at times they will ignore you. But by the time you have first quarter and that happens, they will listen to you because you have said it before. But if you go QPR, quarterly performance review, they do all manners of strategy there, no contribution, no signal control from HR. Nobody will listen to you again. So you need to get the big picture and factor your strategy around the big picture. You must do that. Your strategy, when you have the understand the big picture, then your strategy must be tailored to that, including milestone expectation or deliverables. So when you're talking, you are supposed to be a solution provider. Step one. Step two, develop a mission statement or statement of intent. As we are having organization, the organization is saying that this is the mission statement for this company. What is the HR mission statement? How does it resonate with the organization statement? You must have a mission statement that speaks, that aligns, that look as an offshoot or looks into what we can say this is the mission statement of the organization. After that, you're going to conduct a detailed human resource analysis. That is, you are trying to evaluate your current capabilities. These people we have in this organization, can they take us to attain these goals set by this organization? That's the strategy. Not that they have come and you now be struggling. When you're not midway, you now get to know that people, yes, I'm just, but that guy is not really pulling his weight. And you cannot afford to leave this one to the hands of line managers because you are there. You are supposed to be a consultant to the line managers. You are talking of business, you know that we need a very strong market team or sales team. You are supposed to engage the HR director or whatever and let you understand, and you understand of the people there, analyze them one by one with a view to open the eyes of the HR director, sales director, marketing director, that truly I need 2 people. oh, they don't need to employ, let us promote this one to one in active capacity while we go out to get the other one. Conduct a detailed human resource analysis, evaluate your current analysis, current capabilities, and provide necessary details to the business leaders in various departments, and they will respect you, that you are always a step ahead of them. Then generally conduct an organizational SWOT analysis. The strength, the weakness, the opportunities, and threats to the business. As you look at the general one, as they are even discussing it in general, maybe the strategy session, you are looking at the one that talk to people, the one that speak to people. Determine critical people issues and assess your future HR need. Having done the evaluation of your current HR capabilities, the next time you have done support analysis, hey, you go to the who are the core staff required to take us to this level or achievement of the goals? Who are the critical people? What are the critical issues, including training, including some other form of employee engagement, what do you call it now? Initiatives that we feel will meet them, because you can't start a sergeant for 3 years or 5 years plan, and the people who are doing it, they are leaving the company. They will take the company, they will draw the company back. So how do you determine critical people issues and assess your future needs, including if you want to build, oh, let's build them. In 3 years, they will have been here and they will be able to do that. Oh, there's no way, we don't have the luxury of time. Let us buy from outside. Let's head on. Let's head on them. You know, they develop consequences and solutions. And that has to do with an effective performance management system to check from time to time whether these people are helping to attain what we have set out to attain in terms of the objective organization goal or not. And if no, what are the consequences? What are the solutions? So performance monitoring comes in through your effective performance management system, because employees don't just become bad one day.
Can we still
Have
hear
you nipped in the
you?
bud? Maybe some of them even need help. How? What the structure you Amy, please, where did you, what was the last place you heard me?
I think you were talking about developing.
I was talking about
consequences.
steps. I'm talking
Yes.
about step, and I talk about the technical people, and I don't want to be sure you
Yes.
heard to
Yes.
the last point.
Yes, sir.
So we said should determine critical people that need and assess. I said develop consequences and solution. And I talk about the need for us to have an effective performance management system that is able to put people and make them accountable, individual accountability, you know, so that if people are not really delivering, they understand the consequences and also know what are the solutions. I say that you don't want to wait until the appraisal period before this is done. You don't want to wait for 1 year. 1 year is too long in the life of the organization for somebody to have caught that maybe before we help. We need to put monitoring checklist in place, whether it's monthly, whatever, so that whatever happened in the first quarter, before it goes second quarter, you nip it in the board. If they need some little help, we just bring the best out of the employee. If you're able to identify on time and also help out. And finally, we talk about implementing and evaluate action plan. It's not enough for us to have strategy in the books or in the system. Implementation is critical. If not, become a lame dog just there. You know, it become a dog that can bark but cannot bite. You have to be very critical. You have to be intentional about the implementation and evaluate periodically. You have to, in your strategy, there will be milestones where you're evaluating to be sure you are achieving what you set out to achieve. Now, we believe all this we are talking about actually have some principles that we have in mind that guide them. So highly effective human capital strategies have 4 qualities or principles. One, they are linked to organizational mission. So to enable employees to focus on that mission and achieving the organizational goal. That's the critical principle of HR strategy. Another one is that it makes it possible for the workforce to adjust quickly to rapid changes in the requirements and the environment. If there's no strategy, there's tendency for the organization or the people and consequently to be swept away by the rapid changes in the environment. But if you have an effective HR strategy that is forward-looking, before, as even as they're happening or before it happened, you already have your strategy that addresses any of those changing that are coming up that serve as a threat to your existence as an organization. We also say one of the principles that produce actions that reduce cost of human capital. That is also very critical. I have a client who spoke with me recently and said that it's difficult to get people who possess the competencies required in the organization. And if they get, what they are asking is on the high side, but at times unaffordable by the company. Then what are the actions you put in place to reduce cost of human capital? Build your people. Where you need to hire for what do, but build your people as part of, including maybe succession planning or just a strategy of that you build your people. When you build your people and they see that people join from graduate trainee or officer and becoming middle level manager or even senior and getting to executive position, people want to stay because there are people they can see as their mentor directly or indirectly that he's been here 15 years and he's not assistant general manager. He's been here 15 years and an executive director. Every other person want to be like that. But when everybody at the top are higher, they are wanted or whatever, that means indirectly they begin to, I don't think there's a future for me here. So produce actions that reduce cost, build your people, not buying that. That is not to say that if required, you will not buy, you will, because you need to survive at some point in time, and the survivor is rested or is established by ability to attract the people who are actually dictating the pace in the market. And deliver the people power that leaders need to turn vision into what? Reality. When we are talking about people power, we are talking about empowerment of people in terms of creating an enabling environment for people to shine, to explore themselves, and really take them to where you never imagine. Now, if you are talking about strategy, we have talked about that, we try to talk about principle and some steps. Now, how do you define HR strategy role in the organization? And Dr. Mara Vandemar attempt to define for us, that's what I used to explain, that collectively, HR has the potential to truly be a force for good that makes a positive impact on organization and society if we have the courage to step out to the challenge. If we have the courage to step out to the challenge. So what that tells us is that we may at times or even oftentimes fail to put up the courage to step up the challenge to make positive impact on this organization because we are not doing the right thing. We are not sitting at the table. We are at the table. We are not there. And when they try us once or twice, what happened? They relegate us to the background. Gone are those days when we embark on, all we do is all the traditional HR thing. Nobody wants that from HR because any of these our younger people coming up can do that with little instruction to carry out routine things. They want something that's more strategic, that's supportive of the business. And if you look at what Eric Van Poppen said also, he said, as HR professionals, we are champions of enabling others. But we must remember to empower effectively, we must first empower ourselves. So you are the one supporting all the department, HR business partner. You are leaving your own department weak. You are not empowering yourself. The competency of your team, apart from you, who perhaps is the head guy as Oga, every other person there, you don't care to develop them. And as organization is growing, it become a problem. That if you are not there, the department is either crashing or not ineffective. So as HR professionals, we are champions to enable fine, even as we enable that. What about enabling ourselves? So we must remember to empower effectively. We must also first what empower. So that's what Eric Van is the thing of Eric Van Pullins is talking about, and it's very critical. So an attempt to just look at strategic human resource management. What he said, he said productive utilization of people to achieve organizational objective and satisfaction, of individual employee needs. Can we take that again? He said, what do we mean by strategic human resource management? Because we are talking about strategy. Productive utilization of people that you employed. Are you utilizing them productively to achieve organizational objective and satisfaction of the individual needs? So that as they are satisfying the organizational need by achieving the objective, what about their personal needs? Because as everybody that comes into organization, they have their personal needs, which is already embedded into the goal of individual, is embedded into the goal of the organization. The moment individuals are not also achieving their goal, hey, they are looking outside. They are looking outside. So it's also said undertaking all those activities affecting the behavior of individuals. That's what Shura is talking about. In their effort to formulate and implement the strategic needs of the business, which was what we mentioned when we were trying to define HR strategy. That any strategy that we have that is not talking to the business is like we're just playing. And right, Mark talk about it, is a pattern of planned resources deployment, and that is intended to enable the organization to achieve its goal. So strategic human resources, he said, is productive. That is, he said, is strategic, is a planned pattern of planned resources, which focuses on building competitive advantage, and not for building sake, but to enable business strategy to fulfill customer need. We try to mention that that was what he said when I was trying to define HR strategy. So let's leave all that because of our time. But if we look at what Thomas J. Watson, the former founder of IBM, said, you can get capital and a red building, but it takes people to build a business, which is very hard. It takes people to build it. So your strategy must not be about the building alone of capital, but about building people who will build the business. So having said that, we can look critically, very quickly, about HR strategic role in organization. And the first one there I mentioned is that it's the architect of business strategy. You will answer. If you don't partner with the leadership to understand organizational goal, where they go? HR sit together. As I said, we want to make so billion. We want to sell so and so. People will make it happen. So you are a partner who sit closely with leadership to understand the strategic goal. That is where you serve as an architect. An architect is the one that conceive idea of, I want 5-bedroom flat or what you call duplex or whatever you know. Architects have listened to you, enough sit back and put a draft of what you have mentioned to him or her down. So after that, you then translate those goals into tangible HR practices. What are those HR practices that will help to achieve those defined strategic goals? How do you design integrated programs and initiatives that will propel successful implementation? That's number one strategic role of HR. The next one we have mentioned in definition, alignment with business objective. As experts in HR, we must have a deep understanding of the business to ensure there is a seamless, to ensure there is a there's harmonization of interest between HR practices and business objectives. Whatever practice we are bringing, good that it may be, you can't go and take an off-the-shelf HR initiative of practice and try to put it as if we are wearing a gown on a person. It has to be, there must be alignment. And we are saying the alignment must be seamless. You can't afford to do trial and error. When the stakeholders are waiting, the shareholders even are waiting, and you are saying first quarter, second quarter, you are yet to even achieve 10% of the target. And I'm sure you know the way the MD or leadership will begin to look at you. So every HR initiative, therefore, directly contribute to the organization's success story by driving performance, productivity, and consequently, profitability. You must align with business, but that's the second strategic role of HR. And the third one, winning the talent war, attract and retain top performers. I've mentioned this earlier. Whatever you are doing that is not making your company attractive to top performers, who will now deliver the result? Who will deliver? You must put in structures that have bespoke employee engagement initiatives that will make your organization a choice employer, therefore be able to attract and retain top performers. You create an engaging employee experience that foster loyalty and, of course, reduce turnover. You also make sure you create an environment, where people with right skills and their cultural fit. And also, you think about utilization, effective utilization of employee by investing in identifying human capital with potential for high retention. A lot of things you have. Many organizations now have academy. I mean, they've elevated their training school to academy, like a typical university academy that support them because they are futuristic in their approach, that they can be going to the market. Can we beat our people? Some also have, they ensure that if you perform well, you go to FBS in Nigeria, you go to London Business School, you go to INSEAD, you go to one thing, because they have plans. When you know that this is a performer, you go there. Everybody's trying to be the best on their desk. And when they invest in you, they know when you come back from one thing or from INSEAD, you're going to put into practice what you have learned for your good and for the good of the organization. So it becomes the win-win situation for both the organization and the individual. So investing in your people, the power of developing and training that I just explaining, tailored learning and development program that addresses specific gaps and align with organizations' future needs. And I mentioned also performance management and reward, driving results, setting clear expectations from the beginning, and providing regular feedback. I mentioned that coaching, counseling, recognizing them, and rewarding high performance they are very crucial elements of ensuring you retain people, or also ensuring that people perform at their very best. And I mentioned that earlier, that you must have an effective performance management system. Now I'm linking to reward, driving results with incentives, with bonuses to ensure that, and recognition. Some are monetary, some are non-monetary, but it has to be defined and outlined that people are just interested in the organization. And that also creates them at the point to be that this organization belongs to all of us. Some sense of ownership mentality, or what they call it, the entrepreneurial kind of spirit, that we hold this company together. Whatever happened to the company happened to me. And talk about building a thriving culture, the habit of success. It's important for us to look at this. Building a thriving culture, very, very important, because like Peter Drucker said, he said that culture eats strategy for breakfast. So you bring the best strategy and you do not align them to the culture of the work environment, dead on arrival. Dead on arrival. So you've got to cultivate a positive environment by building a thriving culture where employees feel valued, where they're empowered, where they're supported, where you try to foster open communication. Employees want to be heard and they are being heard. You promote teamwork. You try to nurture a culture of trust and respect. People will not go. Even if they will go, they will be very minimal. The number that will go will be very few. So organizations these days, they invest a lot in culture to ensure they have a culture that make people stay, the culture that appreciate people, and you try to put structures in place that facilitate change and adaptation through kind of flexible and more dynamic organization. You are not rigid. This is how we have been doing it 10 years ago. We are not saying it's not good, it's not working, but can we rejig it? Can we tweak it to meet the current needs? Even with all this issue of different generations in the workplace now. The one that has been working 15 years ago for all the baby boomers or whatever, just as a why. The Gen Zs and millennials, a lot of them, they are thinking is totally different. If you must retain them, you've got to rejig your culture, the culture system, or build a thriving culture that takes care of all generations. And we talk about agility and innovation, that thriving in a dynamic world. The strategic power empowers organizations to build change management capabilities and culture of innovation and continuous improvement. A thinking organization, a learning organization, trying to better your best. Everybody in the country is clapping for you. This is the best company. And because you're not going to sleep, when they wake up in the new year, a new idea is coming up. When they wake up in the new quarter, a new innovation is coming up. And the competition is just running after you, and yet they cannot meet you because you're not sleeping. You have to build an agile, innovative, a thriving environment where people embrace this innovation, where people cultivate the culture of continuous improvement. That this one we have done, that people are clapping for us, we have not arrived. That's not where we are going. That's strategy. Those are the strategic role of organization, an organization. Now, why HR in business? I mentioned that earlier, that's the area we are going. The HR managers you are seeing, they are first business manager, and then internal experts on human resource management in the organization. I'm sure you will agree or disagree with me, but that's the truth. If you're not thinking business, you cannot be a good and effective HR manager. You must be, and that's why I will continue to appreciate some organizations I work with. At the time, they took all of us in HR and said we go and to organize a training for us on business acumen. Business acumen, thinking business. So as HR expert, you are thinking, you are also put on a cap, aside from the HR cap with the professional line, which is thinking business. You understand business, you can smell money. If you can smell money, you will know people who can generate money when you are recruiting. Your recruitment strategy will be tailored to identifying people, not just to make number, but people who will be business-like, who will help to achieve the objective set for the organization. So as chief manager, you are first business managers, then internal expert on human resource management organization. Not somebody who's chasing about absenteeism. Then I'm not saying they are not good, but they are a bit mundane. You can have people, many of those things are even outsourced. Many of them are even taken care of by system. System does that for you. At the end of just getting advertising, check your system, you get it through other clocking machine or another, even the software that you are using. You don't need to dissipate energy on that again. Just put the system there and it works out. So HR is critical to the success of every organization. It's not just a statement, it is a fundamental statement. In fact, HR is the key to company success. And without an effective and efficient HR team, there will be no talents in the company. And without talented people who are dedicated to the company, ultimately there will be no business. My colleagues, that is a statement of fact. But the question is, are we strategic in our role to the organization? That's the question we are trying to answer. Why HR in business? So the other aspect of it, the other side of it, is what business is HR in? What business are we in as professional people? HR can assist to achieve vision, mission, and goal, of course. And how do you do that? You create smart mission, vision statement, communication of the statement. The HR team or recruitment agency can help company to communicate its vision and value. How do they do that? Incorporating the mission into the hiring process right from the start. Right from the start. So anybody who is not looking at someone who can help us to achieve our mission, you don't bother to bring them in. Our recruitment strategy must be bespoke to speak to the attainment of the vision and mission of the organization. I worked with an organization before. When you are recruiting, after everything is done, you look at the person. HR is custodian of the culture. You now say, it is not our company. We imagine it is, let's say, it's not IBM, it is not an IBM person. When you look at the comment of what the panel is, very good, very good, very good. If you get to that HR, say, do brilliant, is not an IBM person. Because there are values that are very dear to the heart of the IBM as an organization. So if the person you are recruiting does not have that those or put those values, then you can't bring the person in, because such a person will be working in what they call cross purposes. So the first thing you do is to ensure that you incorporate the mission of the organization into your recruitment or the hiring process. Bring the mission to the team culture, HR team. Let everybody understand. The mission should not sit at the table of a director of HR or chief HR officer or head of HR or whatever name. No. The team must understand the mission and they must live it. Build the mission also into the management process. Some organizations, when they look at whatever they are told, they do assessment center for people moving from middle management to management. We have conducted assessment center. And what are you testing for? The business HR is in is to be able to ensure that people have understanding of vision, mission, statement, and they live it. And when they live it, they will then be able to contribute to attainment or achievement of that vision or mission statement. So you have to build that into the management process. So after people have left officer cadre, they are moving, the training they're having, the induction they have, whatever structure you try to put, you have to build the mission into the management process. Motivate to promise the statement into the employee onboarding and training program. Similar to what I just said. If you are recruiting and you have gotten right, you have incorporated the mission. Before you onboard them, you also, everything you are discussing through onboarding is announcing, is emphasizing, is indoctrinating them. Mark my work, indoctrinating. Just not what you mean, but indirectly in them to understand that, hey, there's a mission here, and all of us will have our hands on the plow to ensure we achieve the mission. Initiate statement in leadership team discussions. That's why when you have initiative in nature, you don't, because you are a general manager or director, you don't do it. You also may ask for a champion among the executive. Discuss with one of the business leaders to champion that initiative. And they see that it's not HR, head of HR that is initiating, but maybe director of planning, director of business or strategy, director of marketing, director of engineering, or whatever name is the one championing it. And the day you are launching it, the man comes around. You may even try to get some worksheet or anything, some flyers to be able to say, it's not, you're not just saying this, we meant it. So when you initiate statement, that's with team discussion. People in leader, when they see that the person leading is the director of sales, after that person, you engage them, and on that day you are launching it, maybe at the family or a particular day, everybody come cladded in that worksheet or whatever you have. It underscores the importance of the strategy or the statement you are initiating, and just get their buy-in. When they get to their respective department, what will happen? They are going to cascade it down. So you as HR, you will stress less in getting that thing down, that initiative down the line, because the business leader themselves, they have embraced it. When they hold their own meeting, when you're not there, they do the same thing. They do the same thing. And same thing with other organizational initiative for visual, it must be visible for visualization. Whatever you are doing that is limited to HR department, how will it make impact in the business when other people, other departments are not involved? So the business that HR is in is to create a smart vision and communicate it. And how? We have told you, incorporate it into the hiring process, bring the mission to the team culture, build the mission to the management process, motivate to promise the statement, even to onboarding and other training programs. So every training program emphasizes that. And we said, if we initiate statement leadership team discussion, when you are discussing, get sponsors among them. Let them lead. Don't say it's my shoe. I don't want someone to take shoe off to shine off me. No. If they lead, if they discover that the person leading your initiative is somebody that not the leader, they buy in be more than you leading it. And it doesn't take the fact that anything away from you that you are the one who bring it. How then can HR support business through smart recruitment? Bring in the right person, talent recruit added value, smart recruitment process to reduce cost. I worked in an organization some years back, and when you want to employ an executive 3 months, whatever, one day I told them that you complete tired. That's why we are not getting the best. When we are spending 3 months, others are spending less than 1 month to get same level of officer, whether AGM or GM, or that was in the bank anyway. And the look is impossible. We try to do like a Gantt chart for them and do, losing visual and other things. And we reduce the 3 months to, I think we started by maybe 40 days. Later, we reduce it to lower than that. And we told them the process of getting approval. We can get approval, anticipatory approval from the board committee, and which will be validated when the board sits. It looked very impossible, but it was done. We achieved it. And the challenge of losing people, because who want to be troubling him for 3 months, 4 months before you consummate a recruitment. We reduce to 21 days, from 3 months to 21 days. So smart recruitment process reduce cost, enhance company reputation in the market. That, oh, wait, they don't delay us in that company. We have achieved it. Let's see an enhanced value creation. The quality of the products and services improve when the best employees are hired and retained. What you labor for, you just get the right person. I remember some years back, I went out of my place, those days I removed my lapel and whatever, and walk into the company. And after discussing business, I am from so bank. Anytime you make up your mind, this is my card, please call me. I'm here because I learned you are the controller of this market here, and a place to be is my bank. They get marvel that what are we talking about? It's me supposed to be looking for a job. You see the head of HR or regional HR manager coming to poach, because the good ones many a time will not look for a job. You want to take it to them. And this really was definitely in my organization, my bank then, and I knew how to enhance my career advancement. Quality people that they felt would not come, I brought them into the bank. I went to their club in the evening to let them know this, because they're not searching for a job, they are doing well. But we couldn't get that. Let's go and poach them. I'm trying to emphasize the need for you to get the best employees hired and retain them. Increase employees' morality, and of course, productivity, which also had value. These are the areas where you do through recruitment process. How smart compensation and benefit. I'm taking up on HR value chain, one or the other after the other, and see how the smarter crafting of such policies can improve business as a strategy. How can compensation and benefit policy improve business? Improve employee experience through some financial benefits. Look at why you are faring in the economy, in terms of in the industry, in terms of a competition and benefit, and bring things that will make you unique. You may not be paying as high as your competition, yet your people are not going because you are doing other things that are much more satisfying to them other than salary. Create a high-performing culture. I mentioned that under performance management. It has to be done where people know that they have no choice than to perform. And when they deliver, let them also be rewarded. And enhancing customer satisfaction. If the customers are satisfied, they will not go. You have return business. Boosting stakeholder value. When you are turning a profit every year, what happens? The stakeholders are happy. They continue to sing the praise to the high heavens. And being known as the employer of choice. If you're a place where people say, I don't want to go, and you are begging people to say, please go on early retirement because you want to bring in people and say, no, we are not going. You now begin to give them incentives. Whereas some other places, they are struggling because the attrition rate is high. So a smart compensation and benefit policy can improve the business through all this. Then reputation through employee retention, cost reduction, moral improvement. You don't treat people badly. You create, experienced employee because they are not going. Recruitment and training or learning and development efficiency. You make it bespoke. People can learn on their phone. People can learn through different online platforms without carrying them to travel across the country because they must be in brick and mortar to learn. Your reputation through increased productivity, better customer experience, improved culture, increased revenue, improve employee satisfaction, and of course, promoting leadership. Retention employee with effective performance management. That's also the smart way of it. Cost reduction, moral improvement. We have talked about, this is about improving business outcome. When you accept feedback for improvement, there will be improved business outcome. Because when you get feedback, you don't just get it and throw it into the dustbin. You go and work on it. And what happened? When people know that you are a listening organization and they see improvement based on feedback, they get stuck to you. It improves corporate communication, clarity, and business agility. That's the way, that line, we can't change it until we finish in 6 months. You will have lost customers. They have gone to your competition. Even if their product is not as of quality, but because they are amenable to changes, when they give them feedback, people will tell them what to do to make their product better, and they will switch to them. So we are talking about enhancing HR data and metrics so that the number speaks. They're able to analyze, give data that speak to the business about people management. Talk about opening the door for new ideas, decreasing turnover and brain drain because people are not going. You create a more positive workplace, a place to be, and encourage employee growth and retention. When they know what is in it for them, they will not go. They are growing. In 3 years, they know where they are, and at that time, they don't have to lobby or beg or guide before they hand their promotion or when they are moving laterally from one role to other. And of course, they get retained. And we are saying such thing initiative also creates a boost employee engagement. It makes employee to feel valued and take ownership. And of course, it creates a collaborative environment where for all of us, the employees and the management, all of us feel that we are partners in progress. HR may directly influence in culture and branding and promoting align culture to the hiring process. We discussed that earlier. Start with the commitment of employee boarding, integrate company value to training, ensure culture practice the workplace, reward programs, different types. Some are monetary, some are non-monetary, and people are just interested. Communicating and messaging. Culture practice is merged with performance and evaluation. We are saying that part of our metrics we are measuring in our performance evaluation instrument is also culture. How aligned are you to the culture? Not only about work. So it becomes a thing that everybody wants to own because you are accountable for it through the instrument that's measuring your performance. And of course, you create events and cultural programs like bonding, a day with our GMD, a night with a divisional head, some cultural program that creates some kind of work arrangement and people are just interested. Then of course, incorporate technology. If you don't incorporate with what will happen, AI will send people out of business. Because it has been said that AI will not take people's work, but it will take the work of people who refuse to align themselves with AI. So as we are drawing down, we are saying that business success through developing talent. What are the external factors? Attract and retain top talent, higher client satisfaction, improve business and organic performance, and of course, increase revenue. If it's a profit organization, every other thing must dovetail into improve. But the internal factors, we are talking there will be improved employee performance, there will be speed in completing the task, there will be continuous coverage of critical role employees, and there will be recognition of interest and ability of your employees. And that will also, of course, retain them. So as we are rounding up, we look at the impact of this, and we are saying to ourselves that thriving business and organized success must invoke a nature or people system that what? Adapting with evolving trend. You must be able to create an environment where you are a thinking organization. And if HR does that, HR and them that is adapting with it. When there's a trend that we are, you cannot say that's the way we have been doing it. Or this strategy we have crafted in the 7 years, and we are not going to touch it until the end of 7 years. Where would that leave your organization? You tweak it, adapting it to the evolving trend. We are not saying throw the 7-year plan or 5-year plan or 3-year plan. No, but can you tweak it to dance around it with the evolving trend that still make the necessary impact in business? Aligning strategic planning and execution, very critical. Any HR people or system that is not aligning strategic planning and execution cannot help the business to thrive, cannot help them to achieve success. And of course, adopting holistic approach, not one way to look at it. So I look at the pros and cons. Not HR want to go there. HR cannot do it alone. Whatever HR strategy must be seeking to the corporate strategy, adopting holistic approach. And we look at this, it's just a structure, what do you call it, to be able to drive home what we have talked about. Aligning a strategy to business. The business strategy impact, whether it's development or whatever, look at it, talent dynamics and get ability. Key position for an expatriate, do you need one? Do you need one for key position for the localizing? Do you need key position for talent acquisition? Your strategy must spell out all this, and implementation must address them one after the other. Look at the talent strategy. Are you looking about the global pool or social plan, or you are building in the pipeline? I also mentioned earlier, build your people. What do they lead to? They lead to cost, minimal cost, high employee engagement, and of course, high business growth. So in trying to round up, it's important for us to see that HR strategy is very, very, very critical in enhancing achievement of organizational goal. And we must, as HR experts, be involved, be thinking, innovation, be agile in moving with trend, such that whatever we do align with business objectives. And that's why we are saying we want HR to come and sit at the table. What does it bring to the table? Traditional HR functions or ideas, or bespoke HR strategies that shows that you are a business leader in your right as HR leader. You are the one that dictating the pace, because it's people that make organization, and you are the people manager. You are the chief people manager who will dictate the pace in terms of your strategy, is it recruitment, is it all across the HR value chain. So I want to stop here so that I can take 1 or 2 questions. So look at what we said there. HR alignment alignment process, assessing HR alignment, individual result versus the business goal, talent level with business objective, individual with career goal, team and business objective, cultural and business objective, and architecting HR alignment, talent management, performance management, employee selection and placement, social planning, just trying to summarize and reward and recognition, and of course, building HR alignment, assuring person job fit, optimizing HR human performance, assuming bench strength, intentional cultural shaping. I mentioned that you have to be intentional, and of course, organization and job design. Like I mentioned, I'd like to stop here so that we can take your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Doctor. This has been phenomenal, fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, let's show Doctor more love, more appreciation, more gratitude. Our emojis, emoticons. Let's thank him in the chat messages. You know how we do it. Perhaps you have one or two contributions to this very insightful, dynamic, contemporary presentation. You'd like to say one or two things very quickly, or perhaps you also want to ask a question around the subject matter for today. It has been a very long day for Doctor. I was part of the process, so I know. So, but I'd like to take a few compelling comments, compelling questions. Very quickly, I'm checking for raised hands. You know, I don't know if you've been to an auction before when I'm saying going. You know, so before I say gone, who is speaking? Question, comments? Okay, I'll take Uncle K from Ibadan. Uncle K, please go ahead, please. If you are speaking, raise your hands now. If you don't, support Ilo. Uncle K, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Dr. Murakinyo. Thank you for this wonderful masterpiece. It's a classic, there's no doubt about that. This is a presentation for the C-suits, you know, to watch and see the importance and how strategic HR can actually enhance the business. We cannot thank you enough for this. It's classic, and I have so many takeaways from this your presentation, which I will definitely watch over again to pick some points. Having said that, you've talked about, you know, how important HR should be in the business of the organization. Yes. You've also talked about how you can develop your strategies and how your strategies should align with the organizational strategy. You've also talked about culture. Okay, so my question now is, in a situation where there are toxic culture in an organization, and you have put in these fantastic strategies to enhance the business and support the business, so how do you now align culture to fit into the strategy? You know what they say, that culture eats strategy for breakfast. No matter how fantastic your strategy is, if you do not get the culture right, and that is what drives the process, and the process drives the strategy. If you don't get it right for that culture, I'm not sure that. So how do we align that? That's my question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Want me to talk to this, or you will take all the questions together? Hello, Dr. Yemi. Okay, let me start by, I hope you are hearing me.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. What we have found out is that organizations differ. If you have an individual-owned organization and you have a structured organization, you'll be surprised that there are some organizations, because they are well structured and they have been able to weather the storm. They are established, and some organizations you hardly find toxic situation, because it's like what language? It's like a taboo. It's like a community society for you to create any kind of toxic. Unfortunately, now that type of organization like the one you painted, it's like they are in their DNA from top down. So what do? You mustn't give up. They will taunt you, they will not listen, but you have to be intentional and you must look for quick wins. Okay, I hope you are with me. I know that's true. Quick
Yes.
wins. They will dismiss every initiative as if they are no idea. But can you sit back and look at, among all these good initiatives, a step at a time, which one should I push forward and try to get some results, visible results that will make or prove the boom makers wrong, that will make those who are saying what he's saying to turn to the level right to listen to you. I don't know if I'm communicating. You cannot have a good idea, you think you alone will see it through in the toxic environment without having a buy-in of those that matters. And I mentioned to you that you may require some form of sponsorship, executive sponsorship, who will be champions of this initiative. Sit them and sit back, and somebody that look acceptable, more acceptable to those, the organization, regardless of how toxic it is the one championing it, and the person now at using his own discretion or understanding of the environment all of you are operating, begin to help you to sell what you have. You know that if I try it, you'll be dead on arrival. These are part of the steps and initiatives taken to be able to put strategy in place, culture in place, because to take away, to move away from a toxic situation to something better, it's like I don't know how to put it. That is like behavior that is hard, it's difficult, but it's not impossible. Many a times, organizations, especially if the top level, understand that they want to do away with toxic, they make concerted effort, conscious effort to lead by example. And they say that when anything happens at toxic, what do? They make a statement, including sacking people, including taking an action that they imagine they would never take before. And when that happens, those who are into those toxic actions begin to clip their wings. But you cannot afford to give up, because giving up is even worse for you as an HR professional. Because when they do all that, they drop the blame at your desk. Is that not correct? It's as if you are not adding value. It's as if you are not doing anything. So my charge for you is that aligning this HR to culture requires some intentional actions. Buying in of top executive who gives you a listening here to champion the initiative. And people begin to listen to him, then one step at a time. How many of such things are you shunning out? There shouldn't be more. There should be one after the other, so that when they see the progress, anytime you come again, they listen. But you bring 3 out and the 3 die on the arrival. If you bring another one next quarter, they will not listen. That it has come again. That's what I would like to advise. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Madam Princess.
There's a hand up. Okay,
yes.
Princess.
Madam
Princess,
good evening. You have the floor, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. Thank you so much, Doctor. I should have lowered my hand, because what I was going to talk about, you already mentioned it, about having buy-in from people that you know can help you push that. I think everybody really needs to take this on board. One of the best ways for you to push, any strategy, any strategic, pathway in any organization is being able to identify those people that will help you, that will align with you, that will understand what you're trying to push forward, that will add value to that organization, and they will champion it for you. That's one of the things HR needs to start leveraging on, is about recognizing those people, and harnessing them. And it goes from top to bottom and bottom to top. So don't say it has to come from the orgas alone, because there are some people that are, the lower ones that they're
influential. They're influential. Very influential.
And the leverage that they will give you you know, so don't ignore them. Just ensure that you are able to identify and, you know, let those people be your champions. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for that.
Princess, we appreciate. Wonderful contribution. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, you know how we do it at the end of a session like this, a masterclass like this. Let's unmute, please. Let's appreciate Dr. Morakinyo. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Morakinyo.
Thank you so much, sir, for this insightful presentation.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
God bless you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
your
my
time,
thank you,
sir.
my people.
God
Thank
bless
you
so
for
much,
the thank you
Doctor.
for the opportunity. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you all for being there, for listening.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
sir. More wisdom
Thank
in
you.
Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Thank you.